Let's get into the Utah Jazz, friends, because we have a lot of good Utah Jazz news for you today. Sources close to the team tell us the Utah Jazz are actually closing in on a new TV deal. And we are told that they have spoken to, amongst others, KSL TV and radio, as well as Ion Scripts for a distribution deal. Now, here are some of the challenges that the Utah Jazz are facing with their new TV deal. I think if they had their way and they had their druthers, KSL would be their exclusive distribution partner, digitally, through an app, on TV, and on radio. The issue becomes twofold for KSL. One, KSL has issues across the Utah Jazz footprint. So if you live in Meridian, Idaho, and you're a Utah Jazz fan, how are you going to watch games? Well, you're probably not, because KSL doesn't reach. If you live in St. George, Utah, how are you going to watch Utah Jazz games? If they're on KSL TV, you're going to have to be creative about it. And KSL's got repeaters and distribution across the state. I totally understand that. But what has Ryan Smith, the owner of the Utah Jazz, talked about? We want everybody, the largest reach, to have access to every Utah Jazz game for free. Now, why is that? Because Ryan Smith is a smart businessman. It's what we talk about on this show all the time. You don't want a rights fee paid to you every single month. That's just not the way business is done anymore. What you want is maximizing your reach so that the most people watch your game, so that Michelob Ultra, so that Larry H. Miller Chevy advertises, because they know they have incredible reach with Utah Jazz basketball. Because the more people that you reach, the more money advertisers will pay. That's exactly what the Utah Jazz are after, as they should be. Ion Scripts is a completely different deal. And I would point you to their deal with the Las Vegas Golden Knights, who currently are dominating the Stanley Cup Finals. Who holds the rights next year to distribute Las Vegas Golden Knights hockey? No, that'd be Ion Scripts. And they're going to do that in Idaho. And they're going to do that in Utah and Nevada. It's a huge reach for Ion Scripts, which is why the Utah Jazz and Ion Scripts have talked significantly about the structure of a TV deal. Now, are they close? They are not, from what our sources have told us, close to a deal with Ion Scripts. But we have been told by sources close to the team that a TV deal, a distribution deal, is in the closing stages and is close to being done. I do not have details on an app or on streaming, but I am told it is part of that deal. And Jake, I think this is exactly the news that Utah Jazz fans need.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's what Jazz fans deserve. I think it's what every sports fan should be able to experience as far as consuming whatever their team is, whatever team they support. And I think again, Ryan Smith is aggressive, is bullish about getting his content out to as many people as possible. And I love that. I think that's how it should be. We shouldn't have to go to like 10 different networks and, depending on any given night, it's here or there, it's not there, so I can't watch here, or I got to get a VPN, or we shouldn't have to do that. And I think Ryan Smith uniquely understands that. And I just love the mindset of, hey, we're going to put Lauri Markkanen on the tube in front of Jazz fans as much as we possibly can. And then we're going to sell the hell out of that thing. I maintain that's what the Pac-12 should have done from the beginning. Screw a grant of rights situation. Get rid of that, right? Change the model. And this type of thing is where I think sports is going. And I look at the Jazz. This is a team that's not in LA or Chicago or New York or wherever. They're not a major market squad. But at the same time, I think that there are certain advantages to that. You don't have to do traditional TV deals. You don't have to do...
That's right.
You don't have to follow all these rules. And I know the Knicks are doing basically the same thing, and the Suns tried to do the same thing, and they've had some issues, but they'll work that out. There are more and more clubs doing this type of model, and I just think for Jazz fans, and for the organization, really, it couldn't come at a better time to get this type of distribution for your product, because you have the draft coming up. You've got all this new talent coming into the organization. And I just think you got to tell that story as best you can so you can fill the building up even more than it already is, because Jazz fans are loyal as hell, even when the team sucks and is in a rebuild phase. And once you become a playoff team, you're going to be booming. So if Danny Ainge nails the draft like he usually does, You get a TV deal done, go in some basketball games. You can kind of see how the Jazz would turn this thing around, sooner rather than later.
Yeah, and I think Ion Scripps is a great fit. And I look at the WNBA deal that Ion Scripps did. I look at the Vegas Golden Knights deal. The Utah Jazz need that deal because it gives them reach that they do not currently have. And I think when you look at the structure of the deals that Ion Scripps has done, they're selling the inventory on the Las Vegas Golden Knights deal. They're the ones moving the commercial inventory. The Jazz need that. You need a true partnership where you bring money to the table, we bring money to the table, everybody wins, right? That's the kind of partnership that the Utah Jazz need because they have bigger fish to fry. And I look at this idea, and one of our sources at the Jazz was telling us, hey, we really like our broadcast structure in-house. I think David Locke on the radio is very well respected in-house. I think David Locke is well liked by Jazz fans. But Jazz fans can't hear David Locke because, frankly, the Zone Sports Network just does not have the signal that it needs. KSL News Radio has the signal the Utah Jazz need.
Yeah.
And I think the Jazz would like to put David Locke on KSL on a regular basis. But I think you're also dealing with a situation with now Real Salt Lake being on KSL News Radio. You're dealing with a situation where BYU Athletics is on KSL News Radio. Mm-hmm. I think it makes it very difficult. But I also think this idea of streaming an app, I know almost for a fact the Jazz have thought about and tried to develop an app on their own, but there is a significant conflict of interest with the NBA when it comes to broadcasting games through an app. And I think that's a huge problem. I think streaming is more difficult at the NBA level than people recognize because how does the NBA pay for League Pass? Well, because I can watch it on my phone. And I can watch it on my TV, and I can watch it on my computer. We call that streaming, right? So for the Jazz to go independent on that, I think is very difficult. I think if I'm the Jazz, absolutely, you do need a streaming quotient to that. But I don't know that the NBA is going to allow the Utah Jazz to do a free stream so that every fan around the world can watch Jazz games for free, because what is going to change that if a Houston Rocket fan doesn't want to pay for the league pass? Oh, but they're playing the Jazz, so I'll just watch it on free stream. Mm-hmm. Now, obviously, there are ways and zip codes and limitations, and I get it. But the bottom line is you can't have one team that offers its stream for free, and it's why the Knicks are not free. The Knicks are not free to watch on stream. You have to subscribe to MSG, right? The Brooklyn Nets are not free. You have to subscribe to Yes Network.
Yes.
That's the model. The question is, will Utah Jazz fans pay a subscription? And will the Utah Jazz do a deal that would have their stream cost? And my guess is the answer is going to be yes to that. But I also think they're going to have a free TV model. And I think Ion Scripps, in my opinion, Ion Scripps is the exact best way to go. Mm-hmm. Because the Las Vegas Golden Knights deal should have been a shot over Ryan Smith's bow. And by the way, again, I will just say, we have asked Ryan Smith to come on this show dozens of times. Mm-hmm. He has said no repeatedly. So I'd love to ask him, but he won't come on the show. He'll go and do hockey podcasts, but he won't come on the show.
Yeah.
That's what's frustrating. So there is no oversight. You're not going to get tough questions. The local media in Salt Lake City will not ask follow-ups or difficult questions of Ryan Smith.
Yeah, and I think that, again, and I don't want this to be misconstrued because I hear this on a pretty regular basis. Oh, well, you guys, just want to torch people. And it's like, no, we don't want to torch people. What we want to do is we want to have Ryan Smith come on the show. And I want to be able to ask Ryan Smith, like, hey, man, like, is it reality? Can you actually get something done where every Jazz fan can watch the Jazz for free? Because that's the mission, right? Like,
yes,
that's what he said. And I'm not trying to hold his feet to the fire, but think about what that means. Every single Jazz fan can watch the team for free. That would then mean, right? And call me crazy, tell me I'm wrong. Hey, that would mean your stream is going to be free. So, again, if you're overseas, if you're in New York, if you're not in Utah in any way, shape, or form, and you want to watch the Jazz, that would mean your stream would have to be free. So that's why I say, hey, is that what that means? Is that what you mean by that? Is that realistic? Like, I don't understand why it's so difficult to ask those follow-up questions that seemingly nobody wants to ask.
And I think when you look at the Jazz basketball issues, I think there are significant Jazz basketball issues. I think when you look at this situation with Jordan Clarkson, I think there are a lot of Jazz fans who are pissed about Jordan Clarkson. And it's funny, what is the number one question I get about the Utah Jazz? Not who are they drafting, not who are they signing. Why didn't they trade Jordan Clarkson? And you know, we've told you repeatedly that Ryan Smith was not on board with trading Jordan Clarkson. And you're in a situation now where I got news for you. Jordan Clarkson's not going to re-sign here. He's not. He is going to get paid, and the Jazz are going to lose Jordan Clarkson for nothing. When they had multiple deals in place to trade Jordan Clarkson to a contender, and they did not do it. And I think it's a huge mistake. Yeah. I think this TV deal is not negotiable. It has to be a home run.
Yeah.
It has to be something that increases the reach of Jazz TV significantly on a free level. To me, that screams Ion Scripts. And I think we are just weeks away from a deal. And I hope that it's with Ion Scripts. My guess is, I think KSL, from what I've been told, is in the lead. But it's going to be very interesting to see exactly how the Jazz navigate this.
Yeah.
Kyle A. says, I hope I'll be able to watch them here in Las Vegas.
Hey,
that'd be interesting.
Gotta be free.
The iPad says breaking news. Utah Jazz are joining the Big 12. We've heard that.
Ryan Smith to be the new commissioner.
Gabriel, I guarantee that you guys have a better chance of getting Dwayne Wade on the show over Ryan. Ryan Smith, I like Ryan Smith a lot. I hold him in very high regard.
Yeah, absolutely.
But there's no way anymore to say that he's ducking the show.
He is.
There's no way.
He is.
We have heard this repeatedly, that he'll never come on our show.
And don't tell me, oh, well, calling Ryan Smith out, yeah, that's not going to encourage him to come on the show. Well, he's not coming on the show anyway, so what really do we have to lose? Right? It just is what it is. Again, I'm going to say it till I'm blue in the face. I think he's done a great job so far. Overall, great job.
Yes.
Right? Again, couple of things. Wasn't a huge fan of the new uniforms, but I think there was some admittance. There's some fixing there. Totally get it. Things happen. Okay, great. We're past that now. Totally past that now. I think the Delta Center thing, brilliant. Love it. Great job.
All-star
with timing,
game, renovation.
All-star game, renovation, teasing a new hockey team in the Valley. Great, man. You're doing great things.
Bring in UFC. All kinds of good stuff. What you're not doing is being accountable and being held accountable. And Ryan Smith is a guy that talks about accountability and never is accountable. Never. Lee Jensen, I would pay up to $25 a month to watch Jazz games from home, no more than that. Ooh, that's a lot of bread, dude. Delaric, Jazz should do either $40 for a season or $2.99 a game.
Yeah.
The eye patch, how did the Jazz do last season? Do we not talk about that? Well, they're rebuilding. They're rebuilding.
Yeah, but the reality is they overachieved last season.
I would agree with that.
They way overachieved last season.
I would agree with that. Tom Dean, sure, but can you watch the Jazz on your $3,500 Apple Vision Pro headset? Man, Walker Kessler looks small in here. Okay, Lee Jensen. The problem is the regular Jazz consumer can't get a bonus content. The Walker Kessler game 2 bonus content was awesome on the NBA app. It was. Jazz need to provide that. McKinley Cutler. What's up? The Cookie King of Utah back on the show. If they get a TV deal with Ion or KSL, it'll be a dream come true for me.
And how many Jazz fans?
A lot. Thanks. Because McKinley also says would love to get rid of Fubo freaking expensive.
You see what I mean?
Well, AT&T Sportsnet's dead, so you don't need Fubo TV anymore.
Yeah, you can go and cancel that.
Cam Harrison, what's up, my guy? Good to see
what's
you.
Up, Cam?
The Nye guy, hey, I'm just sitting here waiting for the Chargers to come here. I hate 2 teams in one city.
It's Los Angeles, dude.
Dude, Justin Herbert is the sex machine. Brady Cook, I don't like David Locke. He needs to go. You really don't like David Locke? I think David does a pretty solid job.
Just give me the score a little more, my man.
He does a pretty solid job, in my opinion. I mean, you know. Luis Capazzo, what's up, Luis? He says, hi. Wesley Iyer, have you guys talked about David Fizdale? That's a significant loss.
Yep.
He's going to the Phoenix Suns. That is a significant loss.
Yep.
Because I think David Fizdale, and they're going to replace David Fizdale was responsible for the development of their young talent.
Which I think went over pretty well, which is why he's in Phoenix.
I would agree. But he clearly wants to be a coach.
Yeah. Which you can't blame him for.
There's no doubt about that. He clearly wants to be a coach. Jeremy Callahan, well, what we all are dying to know, though, blue cheese or piss bottles? Blue cheese. Gary, OG Gary. The Jazz are going to get a deal before G. Cox?
Cleovcock.
Okay. Oh,
Hiscock.
No. No. Capazzo says blue cheese all day long over piss bottles.
Facts.
Callahan says, wow. Lee Jensen, couldn't listen to David Locke in the mail truck today. His YouTube video audio quality was horrible. Sorry to hear that.
Yeah. Sorry, man.
I don't know. Kyle Anderson, I can't get the Clippers and Kings and the Warriors on YouTube TV here in Las Vegas. I can get the Clippers, Kings, and Warriors on YouTube TV in Las Vegas. I'd like to be able to watch the Jazz as well.
Again, what have I said for years? I would not be a DirecTV customer if I could get the Jazz on YouTube TV.
Truth.
It's that simple.
Truth. Absolutely the truth. There's no doubt about it.